Welcome everyone to part 2 of this course about the Participatory Disease Surveillance tool. The first part provided an overview of the tool, and this second part gives some more practical information about using the tool. To get the most out of this presentation, it's important that you've read Section 5 and Annexes 7 and 8 of the ECo-PPR Field Researcher Manual. So if you've not yet done this, pause the video and do it now. Participatory disease surveillance is a type of active surveillance targeted in high-risk areas that draws on local knowledge of diseases combined with clinical investigations to confirm PPR disease. Using the data collected in the baseline studies, such as key informant interviews and community meetings, locations at high risk for PPR will be identified and purposefully targeted for PDS, such as areas with recent reports of PPR or previous history of PPR disease. Other areas that are high risk are those that have not been well covered by animal health services, so the disease situation is unknown, and areas where large numbers of sheep and goats come together, such as grazing and watering places, and areas of major movements, markets, trade routes, and migration routes. The PDS team is normally made up of a researcher who is a veterinarian and a second person who may be the local vet or paravet who can speak the local language and knows the area. You may also need a translator if the local vet does not speak the local language. Having identified an area to be targeted for PDS, contact the local veterinarian or paravet to arrange to carry out a key informant interview with them. Using the list of topics in the PDS Key Informant Interview Guide in Annex 7, you will gain an overview of the small ruminant disease situation in the area, the history of PPR, and any control activities that are being carried out. This information will help you to identify the villages that you want to visit to find out whether they have current or recent PPR disease. The local vet or paravet can join the team to go to the village to assist with bringing people together for the community meeting and to take the team to households that have possible cases of PPR. For the community meeting, gather a group of livestock keepers who keep sheep and goats in a suitable meeting place. Introduce the field team and explain that you've come to discuss small ruminant disease problems. It's very important that you do not specifically mention PPR at this stage because it could bias the information that they give. Instead, explain that the project is aiming to better understand small ruminant diseases in order to improve surveillance and control of those diseases. Now we're going to practice using the PDS Community Meeting tool in Annex 8. If possible, get into groups and role-play a quick meeting with one of you being the facilitator and the rest of you pretending to be livestock keepers. Pause the video while you do this. When you've finished, take a few moments to think about how it went and make a note of any questions that you have for the live training sessions. If PPR-like signs are reported during key informant interviews or the community meeting, find out which flocks are affected and organise to visit them to conduct an outbreak investigation. For more information about conducting outbreak investigations, see presentations 8.1 and 8.2. If you don't get any reports of PPR-like disease, it's still a good idea to visit a few flocks in the village. Choose 2 or 3 flocks that might have other disease problems and carry out the outbreak investigation and flock examination. Give some advice if you can. This shows that we're interested in the livestock keepers and their animals. Once you've finished your work in this village, move on to the next village and continue the PDS with another community meeting. Here are some general resources for general information about the ECo-PPR project and the study design. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope you found it useful.